right over my head right now.
I want you to
Again, this is a coordinated
just see again what is going on.
Hezbollah from Lebanon and Iran.
We have to put some things into place.
On Israel. We have our tour group here in Jordan right now, so they're getting a great welcome from Iran. And so please pray for us. We have a group of Christians that are here, and obviously this is a little more excitement than we wanted. And
yeah, welcome again. I want to say that this is 7:55 Nigerian time, and we are trying to keep track on what is going on. Just a few minutes ago, Iran launched for the second time a direct missile attack into Israel. So there's a barrage of missile attack ongoing now against the state of Israel directly from Iran. And the first one was around April, and this one right now is taking place the first day of October. And the Iranian government just released a statement that they are doing this one in retaliation to the killing of the leader of the Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah. They are doing it in retaliation for his killing. The leader of Hezbollah was killed some couple of days ago. Not just himself alone. We knew that also one of the Hamas leader was there. Also, one of the Iranian generals was also there. So about 13, 14 of them were wiped out. It's unfortunate what is going on. We keep saying, let us pray for the peace of the Middle East. Like I said, this is the first time, this is the second time. The first time was in April, and the second time is now in October. This time around, the first time they shot drones, and those drones took about hours, so 8, 7, 9, 10, 12 hours to get to Israel. But this is just so fast into Israel. Let's just keep praying for the peace in the Middle East. Like I said, few hours ago, the Iranian government, the Iranian army, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard sent a barrage of missiles, about 250 of them, into the state of Israel, and some of them have been intercepted, by the Jordanian authority, and I believe also by the U.S. and the allies of Israel. But there's been all kinds of heavy sound that have been heard all over Israel. Probably the debris of the intercepted rockets we're seeing. We'll continue to pray that there will be peace. Like I keep saying again and again, we want to live in peace. We want to pray for peace between Lebanon and Israel. At this moment, war will not favor anybody. There is no point for war. It will not favor anybody. We need peace. The people need to go back to school. The women and children, they need to have their life. You must always remember that when there's crisis like this, it's the women and the children that suffers for it. And so we need peace. It's very, very important that we need peace. This one has come in. In the next couple of hours, we'll be able to see the effects. But all over Israel, there's siren. And almost everybody right now has gone into the bomb shelter. And again, with the unconfirmed report also reaching us in BHF. This is BHF movie news. It's a huge program, and also a program that tries to look into the news across the world for safety, for anyone that is traveling, the steps to take and what he needs to do. So far so good. We've not been able to know yet the casualties in Israel, but with the app that we are seeing right now that indicate where these bombs have been attacked all over the state of Israel, the app is indicating that they have police siren everywhere. I mean, the bomb siren everywhere. You know that this siren that triggers off once a missile, a bomb, projectiles are fired into Israel. You know, they have this Davis link. They also have this the system that intercept missiles. You know, and again, let me bring it to, if you are just joining us, the Iranians have also said this is in retaliation to the killing of the Secretary General of Hezbollah, Hassan, and 14 others. The only thing we can keep saying is that we pray they should be able to have find a permanent solution. And as we are talking right now, also the Jews have also, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, have made a grand incursion into Lebanon. As we are talking now, they have made a grand incursion into Lebanon. We have special forces of the IDF and also the air power, the Air Force. They are using their power. They are pounding different places in Lebanon, and also over 1,000 right now have been eliminated, and also over 1 million have been displaced. We've always said again and again, just to remind you what we have been saying, that there is no alternative to peace. The true alternative to peace. Peace is what is required now, and the peace is what should be enforced now. There must be peace. The IDF said they are making those grand incursions because they want to push the Hezbollah terrorist organization to the designated place that the UN have asked them to remain, close to the Litani River. And that is what they've not done. They've crossed it close, they are not very close. And we saw a lot of houses close to the border that have been stocked with ammunition, missiles all pointed towards Israel, Northern Israel, for destruction. It's quite sad. The Lebanese people are peaceful people, they are loving people, the people that want peace. And unfortunately, Lebanon right now, the economy is not sound. They are going through financial crisis. Lebanon is a failed state. I don't think they have any substantive leader yet. Any president or prime minister or leader, whatever they want to call them, they don't have it because the state is completely disorganized. You know, and unfortunately, the Hezbollah terrorist organization seems to be the #1 military force in Lebanon right now. They are even more powerful than the Lebanese army. They are more equipped than the Lebanese army, and it's Iran that is equipping them. Iran is the head of the snake, as they used to say. Is the one that is equipping them, is the one that supplies them with ammunition, with training. So the Iranian government spent millions of dollars equipping the Hezbollah, equipping Houthis, equipping the jihadists, Islamic jihadists, equipping them for war. And like I said, we don't need war now because it will truncate the women and children are the one, like I said, that will continue to feel the effects of long time war, pronounced war. But again, we report getting to us, there's still movement in Jerusalem. There are still some cars moving here and there, which means yet we've not been able to ascertain the effects. Just a few minutes ago, for those just joining us, a few minutes ago, not just few minutes, probably 30 minutes, 1 hour ago, there was the Islamic Revolutionary Guard of Iran launched projectiles, launched missiles into Israel. An estimated 250 missiles have been shot into Israel. Some have been intercepted. We don't know how many have gotten to the ground, but it looks as if the Jordanian Armed Forces airspace have intercepted some. Of course, the Americans are there to intercept more, and so the crisis is still on. We are still keeping track of it, and whenever we get any updates, we'll be able to bring the update to you. We are monitoring it, we are checking what is going on, and we will continue to bring you updates as it gets to us. So please continue to pray for the peace of the Middle East anywhere you are. Hearing me now, pray for the peace of the Middle East, and also pray that there will be less casualties in terms of life, because life is very, very important. While we keep monitoring it, for today, we want to look at today's October 1st. Remember, this is the first day of October, and it's also a memorable day in Nigeria. This is the day we are marking our independence celebration. Nigeria is 64 today. Nigeria is 64 today. And yesterday we tried to look at a 64-year-old man, how far he has gone. Have we made progress in 64 years? Those 64 years, we've had a number of years that were controlled by the military. And we also have the number of years that have been controlled by the civilians. At least from 1999 to now, we've had about 25 years of uninterrupted civilian regime. So at 64, what precisely can we say as a nation that the citizens are proud of? And I guess this year's celebration should be one of the worst, maybe apart from the time when we were fighting civil war and the rest. This time around, we are not fighting civil war, but people are suffering. We are fighting hunger war in Nigeria now. And there seems to be 1,000% increase in cost of living since this government came into place. This government came into place May 29th last year. And this is October, so they've been in power now for over a year and a half. And so there seems to be, not as it seems, there is 1,000% increase in living, in the cost of living. We will not get tired of saying it. When they came into power a year and a half ago, we heard about the cost of fuel was 180 naira. And now the cost of fuel is depends on the area you are staying. The cost of fuel is between 1,000 to 1,300, 1,400 naira. We have some things we're doing somewhere and in Delta, and they called me and they told me that because they needed to buy fuel to power the gen so they can be able to get water out from the borehole. And they said they bought fuel for 1,200 naira. So in these 64 years of Nigerian independence, is there anything that Nigerians can be proud of? You see, the money that the politicians have stolen, both the politicians and military, the money they've stolen in those 64 years is not up to the money that they used to build Dubai. It's not up to. The money they've stolen is not even up to the money they used to maintain and build Britain. They've stolen so much money. The leaders of this country since 1964, since 1960, when we gained independence to now, if you put the sum total of the entire money that these leaders have stolen, we have turned Nigeria to the US. And at times one begins to get confused because we still cannot lay our hands on what is happening. That's why we have a lot of people who are not too happy with the Western system, Western government and the rest, because as far as most people are concerned, most Africans are concerned, they believe that the Western government is also partnering with the corrupt politician. Look as if the corruption favors them. They know that this man is corrupt. They know that this person is corrupt anywhere in the world, anywhere in Africa. The Western nations seem to align themselves with corrupt leaders. So when they tell you that they are fighting corruption, it's lip service, and the Western nation knows, because the Western world is being enriched by the looted funds that comes from Africa. If I don't know if they've done a survey, or if they take a critical analysis, they will discover that the money from Africa that have entered into the Western world is running into trillions of dollars. Let's look at the case of Mobutu Sese Seko, as I said last time. Mobutu Sese Seko was a one-time president of Zaire, which is Democratic Republic of Congo. He took over from the founding father, the founding leader, Patrick Mulumba, who was a Pan-Africanist. He took over from him and became the president, and he was in charge. But unfortunately, with the help of the CIA then, he was able to overthrow Patrick Mulumba, supported by the CIA, and he took over as the president of Zaire, and he looted the country dry, billions and billions, and we have hundreds and hundreds of millions and millions and millions of dollars that was tucked away in far Europe and America. They stocked them away, but the CIA were protecting them. It's a corrupt leader is protecting them. So what am I trying to say? I still don't understand what the Western world wants in Africa. I don't know if they really want good elections, they want good governance, because each time we are having the election in Africa here, we have observers coming from US, observers coming from European Union, different observers coming from the Western world to come and observe the polls. And even after the polls, when it's obvious that they've done all kinds of manipulation, rigging, and the rest, their government also supports the rigged government. So it's just they just want to be present. What actions do they take when they come in and observe that the elections were marked, the elections were robbed? Is this what they call democracy? Is this the Western system of democracy? What kind of leadership is this? Because there's corruption all over Africa. It's the same thing. The same thing. And it's not. It seems not to be a big deal, as far as the Western world is concerned. I'll still be bringing you updates. The attack is still going on. We keep seeing the projectiles are coming in, monitoring from my device here. The missiles are just landing into Israel now, into different places. But those missiles, I said, have been intercepted. Some have been intercepted and some have not been intercepted. So we truly want to find out. This is 60 years. We are trying to analyze the system and analyze, taking Nigeria as a case study. Of what benefit is the Western world? They keep giving us aids and aids and aids, knowing fully well that these aids, most of the money they give to us are stolen. Let's look at the previous government, for example. With all the money that the previous government borrowed, with all the aids they gave to them from America, with the fund that was released, the Abacha looted fund that was released during the last government, we can't see what they use the money to do. We can't see it. So how do the Western government hold African government responsible, accountable? It's not just to be giving aids and aids and aids. What do they do with it? Do you ask them what they do with the aids? How can those leaders be sanctioned, even when they are in government? How can they be sanctioned? You see, except there is a deterrent, people will continue to do what is wrong. But when somebody comes into power, rig himself into power in Africa, because you want to protect the Western interests, you seem to be quiet and turn the other way around, even when it is obvious that this is a government who are just government of fraud, borrowing money to do what? Before you begin to borrow money, there must be a mechanism to be able to monitor it and ask questions. Ask them what they use the previous money to do before you give them on that loan. They come, they tell you they want loan. You just carry loan, give to them, knowing fully well that this loan is going back to the US, going back to Europe. Because this same loans are loans that they will still take back to their country. So there must be a system. This is the reality of what is going on right now. That in Africa here, they have leadership that is highly corrupt. The biggest problem we have in Africa is corruption. Corruption from the leaders. And so what steps are the Western world taking? You know you are dealing with a corrupt regime. You gave them loan, they took loan. The first loan they took from whether World Bank or IMF and the rest, ask them what they use the money to do before you give them another loan. You are just impoverishing the country. Look at how much Nigeria is owing now. Last government alone, they borrow money and borrow money and borrow money. And I'm surprised that even the World Bank and IMF did not ask them what did they use the money to do. When they come again for another borrowing, they give to them. I begin to wonder. What are they doing? Do they really want Africans to be free? Because as long as we keep having this crisis, underdevelopment in Africa, in the third world, it will be very difficult for the Western nation to sleep. Because there's going to be high volume of immigrants. People will do everything possible to leave their country, to go to the Western world, to go to Europe, to go to America. Because naturally, people want to live a good life. But if only the Western world can also take part in the development of the African nation, not just giving that loan that the leaders will collect and not use it to do anything. Because now this one be the truth, maybe the fact of the matter. So let's tell ourselves the truth. All the money our leaders have been borrowing from IMF, what are they using them to do? And what did they pay me pass for this matter? They say, even the IMF themselves, they don't go ask the people, say, the money that they borrow since, one had borrow, one they borrow, what one are using the money to do? Let us set up a technical team to go and monitor what to use the last money to do. Now when we don't see say you don't use the money well, now we go say make we borrow your other money. You dey borrow money, they give the leaders, they go, oh money, they go leave. When the president don't stay 4 term, 1 term or 2nd term, he go leave, and a Nigerian hand carry the bottle. Okay, the last president don't go. But who they suffer now? It's the people. So the IMF and the World Bank, do they really have the interest of African citizens at heart? Or they are conniving with the leaders to frustrate and destroy the nation, to turn Africa to an indebted country? Because one will have thought that the continuous borrowing that the last government did, continuously borrowing, even till the last day that they were living, they were still borrowing. Therefore, ask them, say, wait till I use the money do, the money when I borrow. You know, so I just want a situation where even the IMF themselves, there will be some level of reforms. Let there be some level of reforms in IMF and World Bank. So because African leaders are corrupt, there's no doubt about that. We don't want to deceive ourselves. The biggest problem we have in African leadership is corruption. People don't go into leadership in Africa because they want to better the life of the people. They go in because they feel it's their turn. They want to also eat. Even the youths that are coming behind are telling you that when they get there, they will sell the country. So generally, leadership in Africa is about looting. It's not about the people. It is not the comfort of the people. It's the comfort of the leaders. So we want IMF and World Bank to be reformed in such a way that before any loan is given, we want to see what you have done. What are you using the loan to do? They must be very specific. And once they tell you what they want to use the loan to do, the next thing you need to find out from them again, after you've given them the loan, is to go and monitor whether it is used judiciously. Because as it is now, we don't even know what they are doing. They collected loan, they don't use it. They still go back to IMF or World Bank and still give them another loan again. And you already know that it's not a secret now that these guys are looters now. It's not a secret. This is 60 years of independence. What do Nigeria have to show for it? Nothing. Sorry. Just trying to take my chocolate. 64 years of Nigerian independence. What do we have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. The roads are bad. We are still struggling with electricity. Cost of living is highly expensive. Widespread poverty. Over 160 to 170 million Nigerians are in extreme poverty. And the World Bank and the IMF should be able to know, the Western world should know, that they need to guard Nigeria jealously. We do not pray for crisis. But if there's crisis in Nigeria today, over 210 million people, where will they go for refugees? As refugees? Where will they go? Which country? Can Benin Republic, the entire countries of West Africa, can they take the influx of Nigerian refugees if there's crisis? It is in the interest of the world that we get it right. And so the IMF and the World Bank should join Africa, especially Nigeria, to see that the economy improve. Don't be giving loan to leaders who you don't know what they are using the loan to do. Be very specific. There must be a way to hold them accountable. Because if these leaders leave government, they will leave the debt for us to pay. The last government have left. Who is now bothering about the debt? It's the citizens. The last government don't go. Before they go, they borrow. They don't even know where to borrow. They borrow money for everywhere. Borrow tire. When they don't know where to borrow again, they come begin to use oil. Oil when they produce, they borrow. So from now till the next 2 years, as we are producing money, NSP is producing oil, it has already been paid for. So we are not making much money from oil again. Because the man don't sell the oil, he don't sell and reach 2025 and discharge. The question is that where is the money? Have they called them to come and account for it? As long as we keep having leaders that are not accountable, we're going to have problems. I remember before that last president left, he said nobody should call him and ask him any question. If you are too big to be asked questions, then you are too big to be in government. It's not, we should not be bringing this elder into leadership. What people want is good government. We should leave all this elder, father of where? Father of a nation where people die for hungry. How are you a father? Anybody that calls himself a father and the children are dying of hunger, are you a responsible father? So as far as we are concerned, what we are interested in right now is that the leadership must be accountable. This guy is coming. We cannot help ourselves. That's why we are saying the Western world and IMF should help us. Because we are the one that is suffering. After they borrow money, they don't borrow tire, loot tire, get money all around the country, all over the world. They get account for everywhere in the world. Then our leaders go. Now we're going to suffer. Then another leader will come again, will continue from where they borrow. Don't they, the IMF and the West Bank and the World Bank and the Western world, don't they have pity on Nigeria, on the black man? Are they conniving with our leaders to destroy us? Look at where we find ourselves now. And the man that contributed to what we are going to write, he has gone. He has gone to his house. All the people that all the money they borrowed money which they looted, is gone with them. When dealing with Africans and Nigerians particularly, the IMF and the World Bank must be sensitive. They must know that the money that they are borrowing is prone to being stolen. Because it is obvious that they don't say anything wrong with corruption anymore in Nigerian leadership. Corruption is part of leadership in Nigeria, in Africa. Corruption. And corruption is still going on because the leaders, when they finish, they go scot hand, they go free. Nobody is being punished. Nobody is being asked questions. And it's the people that are suffering. Yes, this government is trying to see how to be able to revamp the economy. There's no doubt about that. The process that they are undergoing is wrong. There's no doubt about that. That the policies are making the people poorer. There's no doubt about that. Even though we are not going to blame the government completely for what is this government, for what is going on, the previous government is what put us in where we are now. There was a time in this country where close to 95% of our yearly revenue, monthly revenue, is used to pay for debt, service debt, not pay debt. I mean, this is the same country where some 20-something years ago, 23, 24 years ago, the president, Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president, was going to use his contact and his connection to clear off Nigerian debt. We are no more owing. Who can believe that 23, 24 years ago, our debts were cleared? We are no more owing. And 20-something years later, we are owing trillions and trillions. We are owing so much money. We have borrowed money from China, borrowed from France, borrowed from US, borrowed from just a borrow. That is borrow, that's what they just do. The previous government was just a borrow government. They didn't know how to create wealth. They were not prepared to create wealth. They were only just to borrow and steal, borrow and steal. That was exactly what they were doing. Borrowing and stealing. So the Western world, what do they really want? Because if Africans can't sleep, then the Western world should know they will not sleep. You see the high inflow of immigrants, youth crossing the sea, come everywhere. Some are even dying, shipwreck here and there, dying in the desert. People are prepared to take long journey, even in the desert and the high sea, to go to Europe and America. Why? The only way this thing can stop is for the Western world to be sincere about the relationship with Africa. The Western world, they are not sincere with the relationship. Our relationship with the Western world is not sincere. It's based on manipulation. It's based 100% on manipulation. It's their interest they're interested in. They are not interested in the country. They are not interested in Nigerians. They are interested in themselves. The Western world, the Americans, the Europeans, the British, they are only interested in themselves. They don't love Africans. No. They exploit the land. They exploit us. Look, as it is now, as it is now. Even if the devil himself comes to contest election in Nigeria, as long as he's prepared to cooperate with the Western world, no matter how he rigged the election, they will still congratulate him. When it is obvious that an election was conducted in Africa, the election was completely rigged, it is the same Western world, British America and the rest of them, that will begin to congratulate the president that rigged, that we are even saying, how do we do it? They don't quickly congratulate. Oh, President-elect, congratulate you. Because they are not interested in us. It is to the interest of the Western world that our economy remain where it is. They want to continue to use Africa and Nigeria as a dumping ground. Nigeria is over 200 million people. There is no Western market that will not be interested in Nigeria. All Western markets are interested in Nigeria because Nigeria is over 200 million people. And people are looking for where to sell their product. They want to use Nigeria as a dumping ground to Western product, to China and the rest. This is where they dump their product. Look at most of the things they do, we import from China. Nigeria is a dumping ground. They don't want Nigeria to succeed. That is the truth. I look at my people and I tell myself, say, by God, what is this? Look at talents being displayed. The other day we saw a young boy, not even up to 15, that built a drone. He flew the drone, we were seeing the drone. We saw the ones that built cars. He drove the car, we see the car. We saw the one that built a tricycle. Highly intelligent people. The world know that Nigerians are highly intelligent. And they know that most of the things we are importing, they are sending to us, dropping in Nigeria, because Nigeria is a dumping ground for foreign manufacturers. This is where they dump their product, substandard product. Nigeria is a dumping ground for substandard product that is coming from Europe, America, and Asia. And they know that as one of the biggest markets in the world, over 200 million people, it is not in their interest that we develop. They don't want us to develop. We have been battling with electricity now for how many years? Since 1999. We've been struggling on how to have constant water supply. Constant electricity supply. And yet no way. Your passenger regime spent $6 billion. Nothing. As we are talking right now, we have just between 4,000 to 5,000 kilowatts to supply to over 200 million people. Do you really think Nigeria cannot have power supply? But they know that if we have constant power supply, it's the stepping stone for development. They know. They know that we have constant and consistent power supply is the stepping stone for development. Stepping stone. They know very well. They know that if we have electricity, there's going to be massive development because Nigerians are very intelligent. But they will do everything possible to see that we don't even have constant power supply. Do you know that since 1999 to now, over 20-something years ago, of about 28 years now, our refineries have been dying, lying dormant. We have refineries, 4 refineries that are not working. Refining crude oil is not a rocket science technology. Now, technology, when we say everybody fit do, even Musa fit do that technology. But why is our refinery not working? Because the devils are sitting on the oil and gas industry, backed up by their foreign partners, so that at the end of the day, the refineries will not work. Because if our refinery is working, we have crude oil, the price of things will be cheap. And if the cost of living drop with consistent power supply, give Nigeria a few years, we will be like China. Give Nigeria a few years, we will be like China. They know, the Western world knows. And so what do? They connive with the internal saboteurs to ensure that nothing works. To ensure that the refinery does not work. Till now, during the broadcast, nothing was said about the refinery even working. They have postponed that refinery more than 10 times. It will soon work. It will soon work. They say September don't finish. September don't finish, refinery no work. They don't take time, forget about it, don't keep quiet. And even when Dangote came in, you saw the battle. They didn't even want it to work. So they can continue to bring forward and make life difficult for you. It is to the interest of the Western world that life is difficult for Nigerians. Because when people are too poor, they can't think. And once they can't think, they can't develop. They are satisfied with them going to church to pray and pray and pray and pray. Do you think prayer will bring development without you thinking? The Western world knows that prayer alone guarantees nothing. At least Nigeria is a case study. The number of churches we have in Nigeria is more than the population of Sweden. But Sweden is more developed than Nigeria. Do you think prayer makes a country develop? It is thinking, creative thoughts, and putting your hand to action. But how can that happen in a country where people are hungry? It's an agreement that as long as people are hungry, there's very little they can do. So they will do everything possible to make life difficult for people. It's a targeted plan. Make life difficult for them. They will not have time to think anymore. Let them just be struggling on how to eat. Let that be their preoccupation. Let them wake up thinking what they will eat the next day. As long as they keep thinking of what to eat, they will not be able to develop. As long as they will not be able to develop, we will continue to bring our products. We want to use Nigeria as market. They have this is a country of over 210 million people, so they have big markets. They know that if the government gets it right, most of the things we're importing from China, we don't need to import them again. I can tell you that Nigeria can create them themselves. Go to the east. Go to the east. There's nothing they are bringing from China and the rest of the world that the people in Nigeria cannot create, that we cannot do. We have the brains to do it. But the enabling environment, they make sure that the government does not produce it. You have crude. You have Dangote oil refinery. Let's assume right now, because as it is now, the NNPC have abandoned their work. They have abandoned production of petrol. They've not abandoned them. They come decide to be marketers. NNPC corporation now don't become marketer. They leave production of crude, fuel and petroleum products. They abandon them. They can't settle down as marketers to the market Dangote fuel and diesel. So the chief marketer of Dangote fuel and diesel and the federal government of Nigeria through NNPC. And people are somebody still sitting down there. I was thinking by now the Abakari will even resign out of shame. But we are living in a country where nobody resigns. Right under your watch, 4 refineries are not working. 4 refineries. Right under your watch, somebody built a refinery from the scratch. You don't complete it. One of the biggest refineries in the world. You were there as managing director of NNPC. Somebody built refinery from beginning to the end. One of the largest refineries in the world. And you are there, the 4 refinery when you get, you know if you bring them back to life. Only stories. Because there is an interest, there is a force. There are powers that they don't want Nigeria to develop. Powers in and out of Nigeria. Powers outside conniving with the powers inside to make sure that Nigeria does not develop. They know, I keep telling you, this is the truth. I'm telling you that if we have consistent power supply, if the cost of fuel is reduced and cost of living reduced, give Nigeria 5 years under good leadership, you will see what we will be producing. So it is not to the interest of the Western world to have a functional Nigeria. And so they are prepared to partner with the internal saboteurs to ensure that they work together with the Western world to see that Nigeria does not rise. It's not in their interest. These things are plans that have been orchestrated outside this country. And sadly enough, we do not have patriotic people who will stand for this country. And I've been saying it again and again and again. As long as we continue to follow the advice of World Bank and IMF, Nigeria will not develop. because they don't want Nigeria to develop. They are agents of stagnation. If I'm the president of this country, I don't need them. We'll find a way. We'll clear up to clear up the debt. We don't need to follow their economic policy, because all their policies to make life difficult for people. All their policies to make sure Nigeria does not grow, to continue to bring hardship to Nigerians, so they will not have time to think, and be creative and be productive. That is where we find ourselves now. That is where we are now as a nation. That is where we are now as a nation. But how long are we going to continue like this? How long do we keep having IMF and World Bank presidents? Presidents who are more interested in pleasing IMF than to please their own people. They are more interested in pleasing the Western world. They still have that colonial mentality of pleasing the Western world than to please their own people. Because as far as they are concerned, their own people, they are hopeless. There's nothing they can do. If they want to revolt, they bring out the army and the police to kill them. By the time they kill 5, 6, 7 people, everybody will go back to their home. That is the thinking. So it's not about legacy. No. We are still watching. The missiles are still landing in Israel. You can see the missiles coming in. 250 of them. I thank God their air defense system is monitoring it. Their air defense system is shutting it down. If not so, if this 250 mistakenly landed into Israel, they will turn Israel to the desert. So we are still watching to see what is going on as the Iranian missiles begin to land into Israel one after the other. And as I said from the beginning, they said this one, they are doing it in retaliation for the killing of the Secretary General of Hezbollah, the leader of Hezbollah that was killed a few days ago. So these Iranian missiles are sent down there to Israel as a form of protest to the Hamas leader, the Iranian general, and also the Hezbollah leader that was killed. And I also remind you that I also told you, as we are talking right now, the Israeli boots on the ground inside Lebanon. Israel don't have issues with Lebanon. Israel only have issues with Hezbollah, because Hezbollah are practically taking over Lebanon. As I told you before, Lebanon is a free state. They don't have they have an army, yes, but the army are not well taken care of. They are not well motivated. The Hezbollah fighters, they receive more salary, they receive more income than even the Lebanese army. So there's even a tendency that the Lebanese army said they are ready to resign and join the Hezbollah group, because they are well paid. As we talk now, Lebanon not even get president. You can just get president the act or something there. Lebanon government, they are government need to work. Their government is sick. So because the government is sick now, and need to work now, poor government when nothing they happen. Because nothing they happen, the Hezbollah guys, the terrorists sponsored by Iran, they don't take over Lebanon. Now they're not going to be the superpower inside Lebanon now. The Lebanese, they even get power more than the Lebanese government. And it has been there for a very long time. And one of the questions I want to ask, before the thing get to this level, because at times I wonder, say, so these world leaders, whether they like trouble, so they like fights, so they can begin to sell the ammunition. I wonder why for almost 8th of October last year, after Hamas entered into Israel on the 7th, they kill many people, rape many people, butcher many people, kidnap many people. The next day on the 8th, now Hezbollah entered this fight, this wahala. The beginning of concern Hezbollah, we not concern them. But they can't borrow the fight. They say they like fight, then they can't enter inside. They say they like fight, then they can't enter inside the fight. And as we talk now, most of the leadership, not the same most, the top leadership of the Hezbollah, they don't fight them one after the other. They don't fight them. Most of them have been eliminated, the top leadership. Even the Oga Pata of Hezbollah said, they don't follow. All the top, the ones supposed to take over from them, they follow. The ones supposed to take over from the ones who take over for the client. They each just buy them one after the other, all the leaders. If you check the graph now, most of the leaders have been buying. They've gone to the other parts of the world. Some of them now are even enjoying 72 virgins as we talk now. They just take 72 badges, they welcome them. So that's not the price they will give you when you fight for this kind of jihadist war. They will come give you 72 babes, fresh babes. If now yellow girl you like, they will give you 72. If now black girl now you like, they will give you 72. And the funny thing is that 72 virgins. So as we talk now, even the Oga Kota of Hezbollah self now never recover for the past 5 days now, because that's 72. You say don't become old, you don't go old before. So I don't know how you go take handle. Go fit handle 72 for 2 weeks. Those 72 badges now, when they won't give them, when you don't buy, so those 72 badges, you get to handle them well, and you go handle them for like you finish like 2 months or 6 months. That's why they fight. They like to fight, and they like, even if they're ready to die self, because they say they will get 72 badges when they buy. So the Hezbollah guys and the Hamas guys, when they don't kill now, they are all there now receiving their virgins one after the other, 72 virgins. Then I wait till they won't give them for the work well done. The next 3 minutes, the next 4-5 minutes, we'll be rounding up, and we'll meet again tomorrow as we continue this broadcast. But we will continue to monitor what is going on in the Middle East. As I said before, we want to know what is going on in the Middle East. I don't tell you before that Hezbollah, Iran, the Oga Kata of Hamas and Hezbollah don't decide to say, no, I want to enter this brigade. I first send Hamas, go meet Israel. Israel, fall all the Hamas people, fall them. Kill them, saute, kill them, tire. As we talk now, Israel don't scatter Hamas. Hamas, they exist again, they don't fight them. Now Hezbollah said, point and say, they won't come support their brother Hamas when Israel buy. Now Hezbollah can't enter the brigade. Before you notice it happen, Israel said, come begin the attack Hamas. Not a small attack, heavy attack. Because the attack on the stage where we say, all the Oga, I don't know how they use the trade one, but they target all the Oga. As it is now, they confuse. They never get Oga. Even the ones supposed to take over as Oga, as they make them Oga, they can't follow. So Hezbollah right now, they don't get Oga like that. Even if they get Oga, they don't announce them, because immediately you announce them, saying that the Oga believes they go follow. That was exactly what Israel have been doing. We are watching what the missiles are coming down one after the other. So when Iran comes to show, we send the Hamas go, you fall them. We send the Hezbollah go, you fall them. The Houthis self, when they come to help us, they send missiles from their area. Yesterday and day before yesterday, the IDF plane come go to the Houthis Yemen and destroy their ports. Not the small thing. They fire see the cash. For the past 3 days now, when they shoot that port, they fire for the port, see the cash. They fire not finish. They will bring all these people when they do what they call themselves firefighters for where it can't be like say the fire, it can't be like Nebuchadnezzar fire. The fire when they push Shadrach, Meshach, and Nebuchadnezzar. When the Persian king that time when they put the fire, and that same fire now. In fact, that fire when they burn for Yemen ports now, it put like King Nebuchadnezzar fire. Not be small, The fire they burn. It's just that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego now they're not there, and the Houthis now themselves they say they're not to take that risk. They're not to go inside the fire. The firefighters said no, they try to go there, but they get to run because the fire can't too much. They can't say no, I'll not be Shadrach, I'll not be Meshach, I'll not be Abednego, so they can't run leave the fire. So now only one country, Israel, they fight from every side, 7 sides. Now that small country they fight. They fight Hezbollah. They fight Iran. They fight the proxy of Iraq. They get some of their guys for Iraq when Iran is sponsor. They fight the Islamic Jihad. So that small country when be 10 million people. As a matter of fact, now today, now Israel self complete 10 million. They celebrate today as they complete 10 million. And those 10 million now, 79% now be Jews. 79% now be Jews. The 10 million people when they take for Israel today, 79% are Jews. Then the rest of them, they spread them between Russia, between America, between Britain, you understand, and some few African countries. Not be everybody, when they stay inside Israel, not be them be 100% Jews. We also have some Russians, when they stay there now, they decide to go stay there. Some Americans decide to go stay there. So Canadians decide to go stay there. They make them their land. So today they complete 10 million. So we want to say congratulations to Israel for completing 10 million. Now, these 10 million people right now, they fight the Arab wars, the Islamic Arab wars. Now, we'll see these 10 million people, they fight now. So, we'll still bring you an update as we get on today now. Tomorrow, we'll bring you an update, but the fight still they go on between Israel and Lebanon, between Israel and Iran. They don't send missiles at all. The missiles, they land inside Israel. We are watching it now as the thing is landing. And we pray, may God help Israel. May I never turn Israel to desert. Until we meet again tomorrow, pray for the peace of the Middle East so that this brigade will end on time. Take good care of yourself as we meet again tomorrow. Sleep well and avoid trouble.